to Atlantic Television Press Roundtable. Press Roundtable is the convergence of media practitioners, as guardian of media professionals who come together to look at the trending news and current affairs issues in the polity and beyond, provide balance and give insights and perspective to it. Good evening. All right, you look better, right? Okay, let's take some of the headlines so that we can come your way strongly. Minister assures Tinubu government will account for oil revenue. That's on the appropriation bill, right? Ayeda Tiwa becomes acting governor as Akeredolu begins medical leave. On the economy, Obi says Dangote refinery will be beneficial to Nigerians. Minister says federal government may consider increase energy to implement anti-corruption strategies. Let's talk about that briefly. The man is here with his offer in his pocket. You're welcome.
Yeah. Good evening, viewers. But it looks as if you abandoned me.
Because I had a lady here in the studio, so I had to abandon you a little.
Okay.
Oh no.
I'm jealous about it.
No.
Well, it's a long time not NMP. It's so mysterious that you just can't. Almost.
Yeah.
I have a lot of reservations. In the first place, if the government really wants that level of transparency, then maybe we should start by the president not having that position, having the position of should go out of the president.
Would that give proper accountability? Maybe I thought their thinking was that because it's within the purview of the presidency, there are proper accountability. But in this case, we have not had that. We didn't have that.
Yes.
Buhari era, there was no accountability in the oil industry. Because people thought that because NNPC was not doing well. That's the problem. I think that was the issue. NNPC was not so accountable. But Chugudi, right now you have a situation where NNPC has become a limited liability company. Would that give room for proper accountability? That's from what they are saying.
Yeah,
let's see how correct the minister will be in that context.
You see, the minister is quite new, and in any yes, any minister that comes, any government that comes in, has its own way of creating acceptability from the masses. This he has come up with it, and he wants this one, he wants that. It's unfortunate. I used to tell people that when Jonathan was there, I said, Buhari came in. You should go to Buhari. Now, nothing will change. It will be even worse. Because if Abagari has a better idea, he would have added it in. But we are looking at a fresh idea.
Because we have a problem. Nigeria runs a monocultural economy. The Ministry of Petroleum has been divided into two, gas and petroleum. That will tell you the emphasis we place on our source of revenue. The GDP from 50%. So you find out that if you cannot maximize the oil economy, the oil revenue, then the whole budget that we're talking about will collapse. I think that what the minister is saying there is a level of optimism in the minister that this budget will work if we maximize our revenue from oil. That's what he's saying.
And there's something else also mentioned about the infrastructure.
Yes.
And remember, Mr. Paul, when we are analyzing, you also do
infrastructure. Exactly.
And we are depending heavily on oil and gas. I think it's time government
diversify.
diversifying because the world is electric. Each time, each day, every day, there are new technologies, and the world is
making oil very relevant, very soon.
yes,
Irrelevant.
irrelevant. The world is slowly moving away. There's a transition, and we are still dwelling in past. Because as far as I'm concerned right now, the world is so it's very important at this point. Guess what? India right now is known for their just to have surgery. Imagine what they are getting from that. Look at Dubai. Dubai is the center of tourism, taking over the world, technology, taking over the world, practically every AI, everything. And here we still are, still dwelling on oil and gas.
Oil and gas.
Slowly moving away from.
Of course, there are some stories here coming up talking about diversification, still in the extractive industry, talking about solid minerals. We'll get to that story. But before then, let's look at the new trend in Nigeria. What has happened? Water is coming out of the stone. A lot of people never predicted it could happen. Nigeria is a nation of possibilities, unlimited. Is it?
Very unpredictable.
Unlimited possibilities, as I would like to say. Datiwa, 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 I think that's the right pronunciation. Datiwa is in the story again. On the state governor Oluwa Rotimi Akeredolu has asked his deputy Lucky Datiwa to assume his responsibilities in an acting capacity while he proceeds on medical leave. That the man was sick.
It's not about capacity.
It's not
about. I'm not talking about capacity. It's a political issue.
Exactly.
It's a
He absconded and went to Ibadan. Hibernated because he was ill and was only signing memos. And that created a lot of problem. And there was this request, please transmit power. You're not well. He has spent some years abroad taking care of his health issues. And he came back. He was still not well. Rather than transmit power, he went to Ibadan. He became an abstained governor. And that created a lot of, hiccups, a lot of controversy within the house. And over time, I think Nigerians will heave a sigh of relief. So the first prompting was remove the deputy governor. Nigerian mentality, the fetish, the primordial mentality that we have about leadership and issues, that are very mythical, not really scientific.
But like you said,
yeah.
my colleague said that. That's a very salient point. Usually when the senatorial race usually vacant are and usually and others that can men in their shadow. And that is why it's as if the position of the deputy governor seems to ordinarily should. Now, but then that also brings me back. The analysis you just gave me about made me think about what happens to us now. The governor
ought not to be so.
which ought not to be so. So we still have a problem.
So let's have it. You ought to go and leave. In banks, you ought to go and leave, but people don't go and leave. What they do, they take their leaves, they monetize their leave, and then they stay back. Because you're not compelled to go and leave. You can monetize your leave in civil service.
Until that is done, until it's being compelled. I think that is the way out. When somebody will see an office as his personal property. Estate, until he is retired.
Retired.
It's quite
from year to year, they don't go and leave.
They don't go and leave.
I see it. Refinery will be beneficial. To Nigeria's troubled economy in a string of posts on X, that's Twitter. On Monday will be a former governor of Anambra State congratulated Dangote on the feat, which he described as a major milestone in the Nigerian energy sector. The refinery commenced operations with 350,000 barrels a day. I hope the price of fuel will drop. The refinery recently received the first 1 million barrels of Abami crude oil, which represents the first phase of the 6 million barrels to be supplied to the refinery by several suppliers. It will be noted that the private sector will play a crucial role in the struggle to move the nation from consumption to production. Also said the recent development will help to create jobs, generate the much needed foreign exchange, and encourage the growth of other small scale businesses in the industry. And you can see that this is a very big story. You can see why I did not belabor today's menu with the River State debacle. It's a big story because one of the bane of Nigerian economy today, the fact that we sell our crude, the entire value of byproducts, PMS, petrochemical and all that, a lot of byproducts. So the entire production chain, value chain in the oil industry will be maximized, and that will deliver a lot to our revenue. And look at the volume of production. Look at the huge workforce that will be involved. If we have this right now, and it goes, the GDP, which
so he's ready to
from there because you're eager, and because the price of cement did not drop.
Yes. I'm doing this with
yes.
He is literally my colleague. When he came into the cement, there was a strong competition.
You better say.
There were other strong competition. I really can go on and on and on. You know, when people rejoice over this, personally, I see this man out.
This is immense profit.
When you look at the trajectory, how he has been running his business, I do not see the price of PMS coming down. I do not necessarily how make life easier for us in terms of price of PMS. Who regulates his business? Now, again, I am looking at a very dangerous trend. Already, Dangote is known as chess man. Handed, he owns a refinery.
One of the largest in the world.
Running a refinery. Now, it means that this man can borrow money from the federal government. It means that at some point, he will come to a level where he can actually run our budget. One man will be richer than a country. Because that's where we're going to. And he who owns this level of money, he's the person that owns the power. That's why he's necessarily not interested in.
There are other millionaires in Nigeria. But what?
This is my concern.
Yes, no. I think you are right. The point is that let us believe that the federal government will not rest on their oars because Dangote refinery is there, and that has been the fear of many Nigerians. Rather than do the needful, they are shouting Dangote will take us out of the wood. Dangote will refine. Price of crude will drop, price of EMS will drop, price of diesel will drop. There will be, the economy will stabilize. The issue of price volatility and all the inflation.